Are you disabled or have mobility issues? Do you wish you could get outside to exercise or hike again? Did you know more than 1 in 4 adults in the United States has a disability? This is according to the CDC and Harvard University. And due to some of these disabilities, it can cause you to stop exercising, which leads to what? You got it. 3 times more likely to have heart disease, stroke, and diabetes. Being outdoors can not only improve your physical health, but also boost your emotional health and your spiritual well-being. It has been known to cure the blues, bring a smile on your face, relieve stress, snuff out that bad day, relieve depression, and, a general feeling of, well-being. But sometimes for those of us who are disabled or have mobility issues or maybe chronic pain, it can really feel out of reach. And I can very much relate to these feelings. I am a big boned and broken person with chronic pain and mobility issues as well. And I have dealt with having to give up my love for hiking. However, being outdoors, walking, hiking, it really can be for just about everyone. It will just look a little different depending on your body and your disabilities. I have some easy, simple strategies for those with all levels of disabilities and chronic pain or mobility issues to help you get you either outdoors or back on the trails. You can try one or you can try them all. And if you know someone who is disabled and can use this information, hit the share button right now. So let's get started. Number 1, look for paved sidewalks or trails. Now, I will say for those of us who have chronic back pain, this can actually be more painful. Yeah, having that concrete underneath your feet. I'm sure those of you who have back pain, you understand. But for those of us who are on crutches or in a wheelchair, this is actually, really a perfect option. Number 2, if you are in a wheelchair, look for either wheelchair or stroller access trails. Now, that sounds weird, but there are many sites out there that will give you detailed information about different trails in your area. And a lot of them will talk about strollers. And if the trail is good for strollers, guess what? It's good for a wheelchair. Number 3, take it slow. Yes, take it slow. Build up your endurance and strength by taking it as slow as you need. Don't be a speed demon. Speed is not the goal here. The goal is time outside, endurance, mood boost, some physical activity. That's our goal. Number 4, for those of us who are walking, use hiking poles, even for pavement. This can take a lot of weight off your back, off your hips, legs, and it can actually distribute your weight a little bit more evenly throughout your entire body. And the hiking poles can be used concrete or on dirt paths. And this is really important because they have little rubber tips for the concrete, and then they have a spiky tip for trails. So make sure that you are also not spending $150 or more on hiking poles. That is not necessary. And I'll leave some links down below for some hiking poles that I've used over the years that are $20 or $30, and they work just as fine. Now, if you're going to go for a 20-mile hike, yeah, you might want to upgrade. But for right now, what we're talking about, the hiking poles can be a perfect addition for you walkers. Number 5, hike with a partner. Now, this is really important when you're first starting out. I want you to think about it like this. If you're out walking, hiking, biking, whatever, and the pain gets too much for you to handle, maybe you fall, or you just feel like I can't go any further. This is where your partner comes in. They can now go grab the car, get the wheelchair, whatever that's needed, and you can sit and wait while they're doing this. So hike with a partner. Number 6, start small. Start off with hiking down 1 or 2 houses, or a quarter of a mile, or maybe you can hike a whole half mile, and build yourself up. This is a great way to start getting your arms, your legs, all of it strengthened and increase your endurance. But you want to start off small. Don't start off big, which kind of leads me to number 7. Don't be a weekend warrior. Hike or walk a few times each week, or bike ride. It is so much better to have 3 short quarter mile or half mile hikes than one big, huge 3-mile hike. And trust me when I say, from my very own experience, this will keep you from being laid up for a day or two with excess pain afterwards, just by taking it slow and taking it short. Number 8, be careful of hike ratings on some of the hiking apps. Now, this is more specifically to my hikers and walkers than it would be to my bikers, unless you are doing mountain biking. In these apps, you have to think about what a fully capable 20-year-old with no disability deems as easy can be much more difficult for those of us who are big boned and broken and might have mobility issues, disabilities, and chronic pain, or even in a wheelchair. Read the reviews very carefully to get a better picture of what these trails really look like. Trust me, people take the time to make these reviews, and it's very important to read them to make sure that you have a good view of what trails you are starting on. Which kind of leads me to number 9, which is looking at Google Maps, either the terrain or the satellite, to get a better idea of what the trail inclines, what the terrain on these trails look like. This can be really important in the long run because you will already go to those trails knowing if it can handle a bike, if it can handle a wheelchair, or if the incline might be too much for you. Number 10, consider getting an app like AllTrails, where it will give you more ratings. It'll give you pictures. It'll give you explanations of what the trails are like and so forth, and plenty of reviews. And this is, again, really important because you want to, if you're going to start going out on the trails, you want to get a complete picture of that trail. Number 11. Now, it actually kind of goes with number 10, but when you do go out on these trails, be willing to write a review on the hiking apps that you've used. And this will help other disabled people to know what the terrain and the trails are really like for a disabled individual. And also too, if you find that you have gone on a trail that's not on one of these apps, be willing to keep in mind what the name of the trail marker is and add that into these apps. Apps like AllTrails, and I have no affiliate with them whatsoever, but it's my favorite because not only do they have a free version that is really, really good, but they also have a paid version that is not very expensive at all. And I have made many reviews. I have added many hikes. And it's really important to do that because you want to give other people who are disabled or handicapped the best information that they can possibly have to understand what these trails look like. Number 12, get the right gear for hiking, biking, or walking. If you're going to go on a hike or a walk or a bike, whether it's on trails, concrete, or the hills, the right gear is important. So think about this. If you're going hiking, tennis shoes or walking, tennis shoes might not be the right fit for all those adventures. Your feet, your back, your legs, and so forth will be very unhappy. It is also important to think about your injury, your feet, etc. The right shoes really can make or break your adventure outside, and the right clothes too. I want you to think about jeans for a second. Jeans are not really the right clothing to be exercising in. They're hot, they're heavy, and if they get wet for any amount, they get really nasty and heavy. So think about the right gear, the right shoes, the right clothing, everything, so that you can go out there and be as comfortable as possible. Number 13. Find a hiking group in your area that have similar interests and similar circumstances to yours. This can not only make hiking fun if you're new to it, but actually, even if you've been doing it for a while. And you never know, you might get a new bestie out of it. But this can also help you when it comes to hiking with a buddy, having that group as well. Number 14. Now, if you're not ready to get out on the trails, consider taking what's called a nature challenge. Now, these can last anywhere from a week to a month, and I've actually even seen one last up a year, which was a little too long for me, but could work for you. But what these do is you go out and you find different natural elements and draw them or take a picture of them or whatever and post them in the group. And some will give you specific things to look for. Look for something green, look for a beautiful flower, look for a tree, whatever. And this can be done just walking down to your neighbors, maybe it asks you for a red flower. So your neighbor has red roses. Perfect. Take that picture or draw it. Maybe you do it in your backyard. Or what about you decided to go take your child to the park while they're playing on the swings? You walk just right around the area and look for a couple things on the list. It's a fun challenge. You should really look for them. All right, number 15. Last one. I know there are some of you who might be saying, it's absolutely not possible for me yet. I'm still in recovery, or this disability thing is still new to me. I'm still angry. I'm still upset. I'm still in a lot of pain. I get it. It took me 3 years after my accident to get up and do what I loved doing, hiking. Yeah, 3 years. So I get it. So if hiking or walking or biking or whatever is just not a possibility, then guess what you can do? Go sit outside. Go sit outside once a day in the sun for 10 or 15 minutes. If you might be in an apartment, or maybe you can't get outside at all. All right, I got an idea. Surround yourself with potted foliages, flowers, or maybe pictures inside your home of the great outdoors. Now, do you remember why I'm telling you to do that? Yeah, you got it. To boost your emotional and spiritual well-being, to boost your mood, to make you smile, to make you feel like you're outside. Because guess what? There's going to be a day that you will be able to get out there, but you might as well get the mood boosting right now while you're sitting in your home. Hiking and walking were taken away from me after my accident. But I decided to get up. Well, I kind of had to. And I got started. And I walked down 2 houses. 2. That's it. 2 houses and back. And then I walked 4. And then I walked more. And then I walked a half a mile around my block. And I did this every day. And sometimes only several times a week, but most of the time, every day. Then I went to my neighborhood's very flat 1-mile dirt trail. And when I started doing this, I started realizing that my body was getting stronger. I could do more. My leg, my very, very weak leg, was able to start climbing the stairs a little bit. Yeah, and that was without help. All I needed was the handrails now. Whoa, I was able to go longer distance. So what did I do? I gathered up all my courage and I went to my nearest regional park. And of course, after researching all the trails, yes, I realized that this one regional park near me did have a dirt trail that was flat-ish. So I walked this for a while. Then I moved up to going to a little bit steeper inclines. I wouldn't say hills. And then I moved to longer hikes because I found that my endurance was further. And then I moved up to some hills. And now I hike some pretty good hills. I mean, they're definitely not the hills that a 20-something with no problems could do, but hey, they're hills for a disabled person. And I also go anywhere from 2 to 5 miles each hike. But it took time. It took research. It took a lot of trial and error. It took walking to a certain point and then realizing I had to turn around because it was too much for me. I bit off more than I could chew. And sometimes it caused more pain. And you know why it caused more pain? Because there was more times than not at the beginning that I did this without the right gear. I did this all by myself. I had no partner. I had no group. I had nothing. I didn't look at an app like All Trails. I just went out and did it. Yep. So if I got tired and it felt like I couldn't go on any further, I didn't have a choice. This is why I decided to share these strategies with you, because I've been there. If I would have found something like this video when I started out, it might have saved me from aggravation, being laid up in bed for several days, at the beginning of my walking and hiking. So if you know anyone who might need to hear this information, hit that share button and send them this video now. Or if you need this, hit the save button so that you can go back to it. I believe hiking is, really for just about anyone, no matter your fitness level or your disability or maybe even your pain level, whether you're on crutches, in a wheelchair, or you're walking. You can get out there and you can walk and you can take a hike. It may take a lot of time to build up to it, but you can do it. And it may be 1 or 2 houses and back. It could be around your block. It could be with a helper or a guide. It could be out on the trails in a park. It really doesn't matter where or how far. It's just try something new today and be willing to do your research, though. Please get the right gear. And of course, take it slow. Take it slow. Know your body and what your body can and cannot do. But above all, talk to your doctor. Make sure your doctor knows what you're doing, and make sure your doctor says that this is a safe thing for you to do. So today, get out there and see some more green. Even if it's just surrounding yourself with flowers and potted plants on your balcony. Start today with a little more outdoor and green time and see if it doesn't start to uplift your mood. And eventually you're going to get outside and start getting that physical activity. It just is going to take some time. I'm Kristen Nitz with Big Bone and Broken. Hit the subscribe button and the notification button to get more information like this. But until next time, stay healthy, stay happy, and stay wise.